Ostrich shoes is what I'm going to be talking about today, my beautiful super soul sisters. Now, on a complete side note, I'm just going to say my sister and her husband used to manage an ostrich farm in Zimbabwe years and years and years ago, in a place called Wangi, or Wanki at the time, I think it was called then. And I remember them saying when we would go to visit that don't wear any shiny objects because they will pluck them, they will grab your shiny object, your necklace or your earrings or buttons or anything, and take off with them. So just a heads up if you didn't know that about ostriches. Anyway, the ostrich that I'm going to be talking about today is, yes, you could do ostrich skin shoes. Yes, those exist, don't they? I don't know if they sell very many of those anymore. There used to be a thing in Zimbabwe, mainly for the tourists. What's interesting about the ostrich shoes is that this is a propensity for the managers of us. So now, if you haven't taken my 3 hidden shoe type quiz, it'll let you know whether you're more manager than you are firefighter. There's 3 different hidden shoe types that we all have. You will have one. We all have a pair. In fact, we've got more than one. And it's finding out which is your predominant pair that you wear. Now, most people don't realize that they've even got these in the closet. So you will do yourself a massive favor just by honestly, it's short. It's like 1 minute or 2 if you're very, very slow. And if you want more information, you can get a free e-guide that gives you further information about the other parts of your character that, you know, these hidden shoes that were sitting in your back closet that you never knew about. Now, the manager has a propensity for avoidance, okay? And this is a typical strategy. They're the ones who tend to wear the ostrich shoes. They're the ones who stick their head in the sand and go, it's not happening, or they delete it. Remember I was talking about deleting and distorting earlier on in the channel? When we delete and distort something because it doesn't fit our story, it then therefore makes it more comfortable for us to accept. So if we really, if we have our map of the world and something comes along and we go, right, that's not matching, and you can feel this friction going on internally on a subconscious level. Most people don't do this on a conscious level. But now you will be aware of it, because this is what this is all about, is that you're going to go, oh, actually, I do that. Delete, okay? Or distort it. They twist it to make it mean something else. Now, deletion is kind of the ostrich analogy of sticking the head in the sand. Let's just pretend that just didn't even happen. Like, we'll just look the other way. Now, another thing that they tend to do is a deflect. You know, like you think of an ostrich, like, okay, they see the lion and they just go, woo, and they run the other way. Okay, they just deflect it. They just don't run right on past. We don't want to know about that problem. Okay, then you've got they stick their head in the sand and just pretend that it's not, you know, not even there. Now, I actually don't even know if they actually do this for real. I think it must be a fallacy, to be honest, because I can't imagine how they breathe. Thinking about it now, I don't even know where it came from. But anyway, if anyone knows, please feel free to share it. So yes, so the question here is A, are you a manager? If you are avoiding, now it could be that if you're avoiding, you've got to be asking why, and to what level are you avoiding certain things. So where it becomes an issue is where you're not dealing with what needs to be dealt with. And this is becoming more and more of an issue. Like, you know, if you as a woman, we become so overwhelmed if we can't deal with stuff. Think of it like a bucket, and we fill, and eventually we can't deal with anything and stuff topples out. Eventually, at some stage, our brain automatically goes, well, we have to make space. Delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. And sometimes we're deleting stuff that's just in the too hard basket to be dealing with. Okay. Now, this is quite often a learned response. So again, you might want to be looking at your attachment styles, which again, you can get that document if you haven't already got it. I've just finished writing it. The guys are designing it up for me now. It'll be available as a free gift to you when you become a member of the Facebook group. Okay, so you can just hop on over to the Facebook group, direct message me directly, go hashtag free e-guide, you know, or attachment guide, and I'll send that to you, okay, completely free. It's a real eye-opener. These are game-changing things that you guys will find out about yourself that you never ever knew existed before you met me, or you might have heard of but you might have not been ready to hear. Or when you're ready, you can then look at that PDF, the e-guide, and go, oh, okay, I'm ready to read that now. I've got some time. I'm going to invest in myself. This is what I'm going to learn about, which is what all these little steps are about, so that you can get in your shoes, on your path, going your own way, okay? So the more we can get clarity on what drives our behavior, obviously, the more control we have and more we can handle life. Now, ostrich head in the sand. Fine if it's a minor problem. Not a big deal. Really not a big deal. Sometimes it's just like, but I want you to be able to get to a point where you can consciously go, am I doing that to avoid something? Or is it that, that's actually quite minor. I actually don't have the time to spend on that. Delete. Okay, so we stick our head in the sand. It's just like, okay, whatever, so it might even be something like really minor. Let me give you an example. It's like, you might look at someone and you have a thing of judgment coming up. Not ideal. Let's try not to do that. And you go, well, I think that they've got this going on, that going on, but you know what, I don't know them from a bar of soap. They are on their own path, going their own way, doing their own thing. It doesn't work for me. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to put my head in the sand, pretend I didn't see it, or it's got nothing to do with me, so away I go. Okay, minor. Different story. Head in the sand, head in a device. That's a classic. How about that one? Because everybody has that, don't they? Well, not everybody, but a lot of people do these days, where they get lost in it's not sand, but it's the device, right? And it shuts everybody else out, doesn't it? And it's like, if you are doing that so often, like say with your family, and you are constantly got your head in the device and you're answering everybody else's call, why? Why are you not there for your family? Why are you not there for yourself? Okay, so not making time for yourself, not making time to connect in a healthy off device fashion. You got to be going, why? Now, again, it could be the attachment style that you had when you were younger. It could be trauma. It could be both. It could be a big trauma. It could be a little trauma. We don't know. But this is what this is all about, is the self-discovery process of understanding who you are so that you can handle life a lot better. Because you'll get to a point where you're going, do you know what? I spent ages on my device the other day and I've lost 4 or 5 hours that I could have been doing, I don't know, exercising with my kids, exercising with my partner, maybe, going for a walk together, maybe asking them about their day. So if we're doing something in order to distract, to delete, to avoid, like, oh, I don't want to have that. Like I had one gentleman the one time saying he does it because he doesn't want to engage with his wife because he's worried she's going to nag. And he's too tired, so he doesn't want to engage. So he goes, I'm busy, I'm in doing my work, or I'm on my device, doing social media. And he said, honestly, he was just scrolling. He wasn't even doing the work. But at least he was being authentic with me. But he felt like he couldn't have that kind of conversation with his wife because. And the irony is that actually added fuel to the fire, because she wanted to have the attention and he wasn't prepared to give it. And the more that she demanded it, the more that he put his head in the device. He did his ostrich shoes and he got his head right in there, man. And it was like, so it actually exacerbated to the point where she was like, well, if you're not going to sort this out, I'm going, you're just ignoring me the whole time. So it's like, it's like that, obviously, the outcome of that behavior is not to that, that particular scenario is not going to work, right? It's not going to be to their benefit. And so I do worry, like I think I might have told you about the time when I was in Zimbabwe, and again, it's the device scenario as well, where there was this kid with the whole family and they were all on their devices, and this little boy was just waiting for the others to come off their devices so that he could talk to them and just engage and be connected. And yeah, they didn't. So eventually he sighed. I felt so sorry for him, and he went back on, he pulled out his device and started scrolling. So it's like, when it's fracturing relationships, when it's having a negative impact, when you're feeling like you need to distract so that, when you know that you're not comfortable in your own space, that's an alarm bell. That's when you go, all right, how long can I, and I'll give you this little test, how long can you go by yourself on no device, on your own, no distraction, and just meditate? How many minutes? Because quite often it's minutes, guys. It's not even, hours. So that's what that whole Vipassana stuff is about. The Buddhist, Vipassana silent retreats are about, is like the whole reason they do that is that we are so overwhelmed with distraction and a need to be busy that we have lost a lot of our capacity to be still. And it's actually in the stillness that we get our answers. Now, if you are too distracted and got your busy bee shoes on, mum, and you got your soccer mum shoes on, and you're doing your, or when you do have time out, you're going, ostrich head in the sand and doing device and TV or something, anything other than being with yourself. There is a reason I'm telling you now. And you want to look at that, because that will affect your relationships, hands down, no question. And if it's not noticeable to you, it may become noticeable to you later on. But you've also got to be conscious of the fact that if you have kids, you'll be passing this kind of coping strategy on to them. And you've got to be wondering, is that really what I want to be doing? Yes, no, to what degree? Okay, so how can you address that? How can you go, right, these ostrich shoes are not actually serving me. It's not serving my family. It's not serving my friends. It's not serving my work peers. It's like, how can I now go, do you know what? I do have those and I have them on too much. And why is that? And then start asking the questions. Where did I learn it from? How often do I do it? How can I change it? What shoes do I really want to be doing? I want to have my connection shoes on. I want to have my time with XYZ. I want to do, and this is what I'm now going to do to change that. So you might lower device time. It might be that you allocate just 10 minutes of time with your family, your kids, your partner, and then extend it to 15, and then, little steps to get you into your shoes, going on your path, going your way in a healthy way, and with people that are going to love and support you en route. So look, I hope you found that useful. A lot of people wear ostrich shoes, so don't beat yourself up about it if you've got a pair. It's very, very common, so which is why I'm doing the video. So yes, thumbs up, like, subscribe. Please feel free to share this if you will be kind enough to do so, and also comment, just say, do you know what, yeah, I didn't even know I had a pair of ostrich shoes, and yes, I do. Any feedback will be great feedback. Thank you so much for making time. Namaste. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.